Plus, sneak peeks at what's coming next. With so much going on in the world of daytime, it's easy to miss a story or two, including some of the biggest ones unfolding on screen. Fortunately, we've got you covered with our guide to everything that went down last week on Days of Our Lives, General Hospital, The Bold and the Beautiful and the Young and the Restless. Plus, we've got previews of what to expect next and even coverage of primetime's best sudsers. The Bold and the Beautiful. The Bold and the Beautiful just set the stage for a seismic shakeup that could prove Liam right, while leaving him out in the cold. But hey, at least Thomas would get everything he ever wanted. Matthew Atkinson has some strong opinions of his own about where he'd like to see Thomas head, and they may not be what you'd expect. Sheila may be upping her stalker game these days, but oddly enough, that could be just what she needs to finally find redemption. When Krista Allen and Catherine Kelly Lang pondered Taylor and Brooke's thorny relationship, they came up with a hilariously unique fix. It looks like Darren Brooks, Wyatt, has a new leading lady, and a new movie hitting just in time for the holidays. Something tells us you'll agree with Richard, who felt as if this week's episodes were basically reruns. Worse, nobody seemed to be making smart decisions and, as he discusses in this week's column, that makes for a very frustrating viewing experience. What went down last week? Deacon intercepted Sheila just as she was contemplating making contact with Finn at the Cliff House, but eventually, she made her way into the house where Hayes was in the playpen alone. The Forresters held another family dinner and Thomas invited Hope as part of the family. Steffi got snippy with her, while Brooke and Liam had a vent session in the cabin about Thomas, Taylor, and Steffi. A teary Hope arrived home without Douglas in tow, which upset Liam. Brooke informed Taylor that her campaign to steal Douglas and Ridge was to stop that very day. Days of Our Lives. Some of Days of Our Lives' biggest stars spoke out about the show's move from NBC to Peacock, while the soap itself pulled out all the stops with an explosive fall preview sure to convince fans to sign up for the streaming service. Fans who were devastated by the murder of Abigail will finally get a bit of closure. We've got the details on Marcy Miller's upcoming return, as well as what it means for Chubby. Ariane Zucker, Nicole, and Sean Christian, ex-Daniel, gave fans a sneak peek at their big day with a little dancing, a little humor and whole lot of romance. Mary Beth Evans, Kayla, and Stephen Nichols, Steve, are seasoned pros at making us laugh. Their hilarious blooper reel just goes to show that sometimes even the professionals have an off day or two. As she healed from her devastating loss, Tamara Braun, Ava, looked to memories of her joyful soap past to help move forward. As Days of Our Lives said goodbye to NBC, Curtis figured the time was right in this week's column to get into how he stopped worrying about the move to Peacock and started getting excited for what's to come. Stefan's return, Abigail's murder solved, Kayla, Marlena and Kate in mortal danger. The show's got so much coming down the line. What went down last week? Sonny woke from his attack, only to come face to face with a disguised Leo begging for help in clearing his name. Victor, meanwhile, told Alex he needed to take over as interim CEO of Titan. Xander and Sarah finally married in an intimate ceremony in the Horton home, but their wedding ended on a sour note when Gwen showed up to thank Jack for freeing her and apologized to the married couple. Orpheus swiped a vial from Dr. Rolf, using it to sicken Kayla, Marlena, and Kate, while Kristen pushed the doc to wake up Stefan early. And as Lee and Gabby got engaged, Ava was more convinced than ever she was losing her mind after seeing Jake once more. General Hospital. As Nina stares down her past, she may just have a chance for a new beginning in her future. But will she be able to reach out and grab it? Plus, relive some of that past with our new photo gallery of her life in Port Charles. While Spencer and Trina grappled with their feelings for each other, Tabayana Ali shared some wise words they would be smart to take to heart. As Christina Wagner hit a milestone in playing our beloved Felicia, the actress shared a tribute to the son she lost just 3 short months ago. On the anniversary of her long-ago debut as Robin, we celebrate Kimberly McCulloch's stellar run and open up a scrapbook of memories from her time in Port Charles. Michael Blake Cruz, Rory, and his wife enlisted some adorable help in announcing that they're about to accept their second child. Nell's much-hyped return to General Hospital was just one big bust for Dustin, but the show did manage to tug at his heartstrings with Trina and Spencer's misconnection. But what happened to Liz? Her absence was just one of many problems he had with the show in this week's column. What went down last week? Willow dreamed of being terrorized by Nell, while Nina had a vision of Nell at her grave. Spencer attended Trina's celebration party to give her a letter detailing his feelings but backed out after seeing her happy with Rory. Later, Ava told Trina that Spencer always believed her and only stayed with Esme to prove her innocence. Trina rushed to the station to see Spencer before he was transferred to Pentonville but was too late. Mac and Felicia began to suspect Cody was his son with Dominique, but Mac was unsure about finding out the truth. And Austin's cousin Mason gave him mysterious orders regarding an incoming patient to General Hospital. The Young and the Restless. Has Phyllis put herself in a no-win situation? She's well on her way to sacrificing everything in her quest to take Diane down, and even if she does win the battle, she could end up losing the war. In a soaps com exclusive, Beth Maitland opened up about the storyline she's hoping is in store for Tracy. And we couldn't agree more. Viewers railed against Young and Restless for writing off two legacy characters, but they may have been a bit hasty in their judgment. After decades of terror and abuse from her stalker, Eva LaRue, ex-Celeste, finally got some measure of justice this week. As Sally comes to a crossroads, Courtney Hope dialed up the inspiration and gave fans a peek inside her incredible fitness routine. Young and Restless had a lot going on at times, but Candace admitted in this week's column that she still couldn't help but feel bored. That Sally and Nick shock, though, jolted her awake, and she's determined to figure out who is helping Diane. What went down this week? Abby and Chance reconnected, and he later played Good Samaritan to Chelsea, who was too drunk to get herself home. Later, Billy invited Chelsea to spend time with Johnny. Chancellor Winters ended the week in chaos after Jill said she wants to go public, and Nate stormed out after butting heads with Devin Anu. Faith and Moses left for college, and Nick and Sharon shared lunch with Victor, who reiterated that he wants Sally gone from Newman Enterprises. The mustache was then taken aback to hear Nick defending Adam after he declared his defection to Jabo a betrayal. Meanwhile, Sally had a close encounter with Adam that almost ended in a kiss, but she was saved by Chloe. In other news, Yellowstone's Cole Hauser dropped some behind-the-scenes photos for the show's 5th season as Rip gets back in his badass saddle for the ride of his life. On Sunday, September 11th, we remembered Guiding Light alum T. J. Hargrave, Timothy John Werner, who was lost in the 9/11 attacks, as well as everyone whose lives were changed on that tragic day in 2001. On the heartbreaking anniversary of Irving Allen Lee's death, we remembered the daytime trailblazer taken from us far too soon by AIDS. What's coming up? Now that you're all caught up on what went down last week, here's a glimpse of what's just around the corner. Brooke. For a smart lady, you invented belief. After all, you sometimes make some very foolish choices. Like the one that, in this week's preview, is sure to cause all kinds of heartache. It might even give Ridge yet another reason to go Mac on Taylor. Is that what you really want? Poor Sally. The Young and Restless beauty has two guys, both rich and gorgeous, pursuing her. So what's the problem, you might ask? She can only choose one. Or can she? Whether you're new to Days of Our Lives or a lifelong fan,